Hello, it is EDUT 521, week number 7. We are on the home stretch. Hang in there. This week we are looking at early childhood literacy, communication, and language. So, if this fits your content area in your current job, fantastic. If not, hang in there because there's a lot of ways to scaffold this up to whatever grade you usually spend your time with. It's also great if you happen to meet any young humans. Fair enough? Great. So, this week you are continuing with your reading, Dell chapters 10 and 11. You have a handful of videos around, just a variety of, it's almost more of like a potpourri. There's like American Sign Language song that's in there. If you're a fan of Hamilton, there's some great ASL around some Hamilton songs, by the way. Picture symbols, communication, all of this, you're going to look at and be like, all right, like, this is looking familiar. Should be right in line with what you've been sharing in your e-portfolio. The light in my office just went out. It's like it's on a weird timer right now. Hang on. See if we can turn that back on. So strange. You have two discussion boards. The first one's traditional, finding 2 tech tools that support the development of early childhood literacy. Initial post by Thursday, 2 replies by Sunday. The second one, some of you have already done. You're a thinker if you did. I mean, you're all thinkers, but I don't know. What was that from? That was like an old SNL skit with Big Bird. Big Bird was on Weekend Update, and he's like, I'm a thinker. That popped in my head for some reason. And I'm guessing you're not conversant with the Big Bird appearance on Weekend Update. I don't know that it was a big thing, but there you have it. You are going to share your presentation, your assistive technology tools in-service presentation. Here's the link to it. As with all links, when you're sharing it with a group, copy it, open an incognito or private window, paste the link, make sure that you can view it. That way anyone can view it from any account. That's good stuff. There's also a great trick at the end when you go to share in Google Docs, or really any of the Google Suites tools. It usually ends with /edit. If you're giving someone just a view access, don't give them the /edit. Just manually change those last 4 letters from EDIT to VIEW. So /edit means if they have edit access, they'll get the full interface, that just like the normal word processing or like slide editing, formatting, all the stuff. If you do /view, anyone that opens that just gets like the layout without the tools. If you do /preview, it gives you mostly just the item. So actually I do a similar trick with this for my resume. That way I can just update it always as a Google Doc. I link to it on my website with /preview, and then whenever people click on it, it looks like it's a static document, and then I think you can download it or print it from there. But it'd be weird to have an edit view of someone's resume. So /preview if you want to be a little bit fancier and you haven't yet uploaded or shared a link to your presentation in discussion board 2. So all you need to do is post that, get that posted right away. Here's my presentation link. Done. Make sure the link works, and then you're going to reply to 2 peers. You're welcome to do more if you'd like, but at least 2. And it's really basic stuff. There's 4 suggestions for ways to reply to classmates. I'm not going to read those aloud because you can read them on your own. The big thing this week is your 3-day lesson plan template. The big part of this is, and I said this last week, I'll say it again, the lesson plan should have significant detail for every day. This is not like a 2-page document and you're done. It needs to have significant, I think the document says substantial detail for each lesson each day. At the very least, someone who has taught this class before can implement your lesson. Like if you're out on a sick day, right, just they take your paper, they can execute the lesson. That should be the minimum. At the maximum, it should be someone is like their first week substituting. They take it and they have a successful lesson because of your lesson plan. That's how I tend to write lesson plans, assuming that they know nothing about my style, about the culture in my classroom, about like the routines that we have in my classrooms. So I build those into all my lesson plans also. So it's going to be, there's a template for you where you have each day is there, objectives, materials, procedures, classwork, homework. We don't need to jump too far into the homework rabbit hole. But if you want to focus more on classwork and focus less on homework, I am okay with that. Mostly because certainly K-5, there's almost no research that shows that homework is actually beneficial academically. There's a decent amount of growing research that shows homework is really just detrimental to students' level of learning. I certainly know anecdotal evidence of that. Parent-teacher relationships are strained. I very much have anecdotal evidence that child-parent relationships are strained. I personally, as a parent, hate homework. I hate it. So if you want to go easy on homework, okay with me. There starts to be arguments, like in sixth grade, middle school, you can kind of argue it both ways. High school, you can argue it both ways. But I've heard people argue K-12, like no benefits of homework, and I've been convinced more than once. So really focus on like the objectives, really lay out the materials, and the procedures are going to be just really long, just really, every step, every thought, every link of what you're going to do. You're also going to give, it's like a reflection in a way of how you would, how you grab like student work samples with either a real student with real work that you've done before and make sure it's anonymous, or like you doing like a fake student version of it, or if you have a relative or neighbor that wants to do it or is willing to do it perhaps. But don't work too hard on those assessments on those student products. It's really more about just like anyone, including me, especially me, I suppose, should be able to then go, oh, cool, got it. Like that's what it looks like. It's just like a quick, like, got it. What is my rising second grader do? Like point at you. That, like that, it's just like a quick check for that. It's really about the procedures, the details, figuring out, the theme of the course, where the assistive technology is, what it is, how it's used. That's a big part of it. And then please make sure that you have your reflection. There's minimum word requirements for each one of those. What worked, what didn't, what would you do differently? And if you've not actually taught this, because we're in the middle of June, don't worry, it's like what you think might work, what you think, would be the hiccups, what would you be weary of, reflecting on SAMR, Bloom's taxonomy, what you learned, all the resources in one like easy to find place. That is your lesson plan. It's pretty significant. Make sure to look at the points for this and plan work and time accordingly, because there's a lot. And then last, and definitely not least, home stretch of the course, which means home stretch of your e-portfolio, your electronic portfolio. This week, it's the theme of the week: early childhood literacy, communication, collaboration, fluency. It's due at the end of next week. The end of next week, by the way, is a Friday, not a Sunday. Everything is due Friday by midnight, and then that gives me Saturday and Sunday to grade. My grades are due Sunday night. So make sure whatever you do, it is turned in on Friday by midnight. Because my goodness, it is a lot in this course. You're turning in a really big project, and it is a quick turnaround for me. So please make sure that gets submitted on time. And that is about it for week 7. If you have questions, reach out. And if you don't have questions, then enjoy your work on week 7. Look forward to hearing what you share in our discussion board.